Hello and welcome to the developer update. I was trying to do this way earlier and then I made a thumbnail and everything and I thought, hey, that looks really cool. But then what happened is apparently my OBS settings just all died. They all just committed toaster bath and they just don't like me. So I'm going to have to redo this entire thing. So I'll do this very quickly. First things first, blood web costs. So now everything is going to be cheaper. The common, so 3,000 cost items are now 2,000, 4,000 are 2,500, 5,000 are 325, which is a weird number. Everything is meant to be like 33% cheaper, keep that in mind. As you can see roughly here. 6,000 to 4,000 and 7,000 to 5,000. All of this is insanely good. This is so nice and such a good change. People have done the math, and prestiging characters, so going from P0 to P1 for those new players, it's still daunting, but it is now 1 million blood points on average instead of 1.5 million blood points. So with this change, it actually does change 33% roughly. So this is an insanely good change. Thank you, behavior. Second change is tunneling and camping. They're now making it that it's 10 seconds of endurance and 10% haste. This is really strong. This is going to make bow time even more insane. But this is kind of fair. Honestly, most people were just getting tunneled off of hook anyway. There was a lot of killers who just didn't really care. This will now make it so then there's actually more scenarios, such as with a Death Slinger, where they kind of do actually have to respect, which personally I just stopped tunneling unless it was like super like, you have to tunnel me. I'm gonna teabag in front of you until you can tunnel me. And it's like, okay, I guess I'll kill you. Unless it was that scenario, I kind of just didn't care anymore. Metal of Man, they're making it work properly this time. Uh, Not dead. So now it's just back to how it was. So 3 protection hits, boom, you get the perk. It does not work like endurance. Good. Post PTB changes. So the main thing is now your bound is now shortened. They've basically made it more skill testy. So you will no longer just bounce into like tiny little jagged edges. Because now it's more precise, but that also means that the window for you to get unfairly bullshit bounds on survivors is also lessened. Which is good, that's what we should see. Also, your movement speed in between bounds is now increased, so then hopefully you can actually get into proper positions, because it was actually really hard to actually get into positions in certain loops. As well as now, if you hit a survivor into another survivor, that other survivor will be in deep wounds, which is a buff, but it also is a way to key the survivor into, you just got hit. Because apparently people don't read the HUD. Yeah. Onto perks, Resurgence is now only once per hook state, which does make sense, but this does mean that for people like me who do want to do a kind of like martyr build, where you Medal of Man, you Guardian, you Medal of Man, you Breakout, you Reassurance, you can't, and like Dead Hard, you can't just take like a bunch of protection hits, and then when they go to basement, you Reassurance them like infinitely, all the exit gates are done, you go down there, take the Dead Hard, uh, unhook them, you take the Medal of Man, and then you leave. So that dream is gone. However, Medal of Man is back now, so hooray. But yeah, this is honestly kind of fair. So now you don't longer have a cooldown, which is, I think that's actually better, because it did feel really shitty when you used your cooldown and someone immediately unhooked them and then someone else got hooked and you're just like, well, fuck. Awakened Awareness, it no longer has the Lethal Pursuer extra aura reading. I honestly don't see this perk being the most meta warping perk, just simply due to the fact that the best Starstruck build is Agitation Starstruck Deadman Switch Pain Res because it has so much synergy in it already. Low profile now works every single time where you are the last survivor, such as all 3 survivors being downed except for you. This means that you'll be able to get those clutch saves off of people when they're downed, and be able to like bring back the team. So that's really cool. Low profile also makes your grunts of pain no longer a thing, which is also really good. That's something that they really needed to add originally. So this now means that you're basically literally unseeable until yeah, except for like aura reading, but you can just run distortion. Better than new. Now does no longer have a duration. Thank fucking god, there should not have been one in the first place. It does increase gen speed. Secondly, you now get 16% bonus. This is kind of good. It means that you can kind of go and do your own thing, but most of the time it's kind like this perk is kind of just meant to be like, oh, that's neat anyway, kind of perk. So at least it now has something better. So the final thing is just that the PTB map, we're removing some of the palettes because there was way too many fucking god palettes on a map that's already too big. And sadly they're not fixing the size. Honestly, I do think that they should have shortened it down a little bit more. With the new area that they opened up, giving new access and new breathing room, it does actually kind of feel a little bit more annoying in some cases. The fact that people can, now that there's not a chokehold in the first main exit room, because of that new little park area that I do love a lot, it's so nice and so vibrant and refreshing to see, does mean that there's no longer a chokehold there, so it does make it harder for killers to actually pressure the exit gates, because they can't just go to that exit gate, look both sides, see no one's there, and leave. It is now, oh, they could be around that corner ever so slightly, and I'll just get fucked. But other than that, all of these changes are amazing. I particularly like the Bloodpoint one. Reassurance still is really good. Albert Wesker is now even better, in my opinion. Medal of Man, thank God. Camping and tunneling is now slightly worse. Camping will always still be a thing. They didn't even address camping, it's just the tunneling that was addressed. And then this is honestly the best change ever in this entire update. This saves so much, as I was saying. This is going to help so many people. This is going to make my series a lot better, my budget series. The main problem and the reason why it hasn't been coming out recently is because it's such a grind to get all of these characters done. And although I did want to get a lot of them done before Albert Wesker, I guess I'm just going to have to implement his perks into the thing now. So say la vie, I guess. But yet again, have a lovely day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.